shit, the music. Hello, guys. Welcome back. I've got Guess what did me again, guys? The notification that the YouTube page has gone live, which I obviously clearly know, and I just got done with it. But anyway, we are into it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Another Wednesday night. You're bored as shit. It's getting cold. You probably cuddled up to the lounge. Got us on the big screen. Please, if you got us on the big screen, send us a picture. Actually, that'd be sick to see on the TV. The family's gathered around, ready to listen to us gas bag along for the next hour or so. Huge show coming up. Obviously, you want to talk a bit about the Origin stuff and chat about general footy. What's happened last week has been a big week for rugby league as well, and a couple of teams getting the bye. A little shortened round, but there's still plenty of talking points to come out of that. As always, we all know by now the big Parramatta giveaway for the Parramatta versus Storm game. So, mate, in this video, just get your comments in, and I'll be picking one comment that I love the best. And at the end of the video, I'll announce you'll have 5 extra entries to that Field Club access. Literally, you're on the halfway line. You literally watch the players run out. It's a great experience. I'm going to experience it tomorrow night. I'll take some pictures and let everyone know what it's like, but really keen to see that. So get your entries into that as well. Boys, we are getting into it. Origin, really, really keen. It's still a week away. We won't be on, obviously, this time next Wednesday. We'll be cheering the Mighty Blues on, hopefully to a great win. No, Cody, no more rants at the moment, so I'll try to relax. I've actually even got a relaxing mechanism with me tonight. The boys have talked me into it. Jesse, you very, very keen Origin talk. We're going to get to it, but it's getting closer, isn't it? I'm starting to feel it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time. It's my favourite 3 games of the year. Ideally 2 games, but I just love Origin, man. Honestly, even before I was really too in deep with the footy side of things, it was always Origin regardless. So, no, definitely keen. Day before my birthday as well. So, it'd be a beautiful way to ruin my entire week had Queensland win that. But we'll see what happens. Very, very emotional when it comes to that game. So, very keen.
You get very, very into it. Jez, your team had the bye on the weekend. So the 2 points, as you said, 2 points is 2 points. Take them when you can get them. And that's 4 weeks in a row of getting 2 points. So you're on a roll.
Yeah, let's keep the good times rolling. I agree on the Origin chat that we're talking about because it's always around my birthday as well, Jesse. How good a week for babies. So 30th of June, save your happy birthdays till then. But it always coincides with Origin time. And these 3 games are the games that I yell at the TV. I can't go and watch it in public because I am embarrassing. So these are the ones where my wife will head downstairs and say, I'll see you later. Please just try and keep it down a little bit. No chance.
Yeah. Love it.
I don't think it's much chance either. And we are still talking, guys, getting a couple of the boys on, possibly straight after Origin 1, which we did talk about on Sunday night. See what happens there with some of the boys who are keen to do that. Mika, I don't know where to go with you at the moment because obviously our Eels are just shit. I don't know if we want to even talk about it. Yeah. How's your week going other than that?
Here. Yeah, nah. What was that?
Slim Shady.
I said Slim Shady over here.
Yeah. It's winter, right? Doesn't he wear his like...
It's about right. Yeah, that's it.
It's about it. Yeah.
It's uncanny. Holy shit.
Someone's beeping at me in the background. Anyway, Parramatta are shit, so it'll be good to see a different team that I support play, the Blues. We usually do something special for dinner on Origin night. Although next week I'll have karate before Origin, so I'll be racing home to watch the game. So unless me missus cooks something special for dinner, it'll be in the door, on the lounge, crack a beer, watch the footy. So getting keen.
Oh,
can't
getting
wait.
Into that already. Now I'm going straight back to you.
This is Domino's like most profitable night as well. These 3 nights, it's got to be. Has to be.
It's massive. Yeah.
No one's cooking on Origin night. No one. If you're a footy observer,
cooking's
you're
for
not
mugs
getting
on an
up.
Origin game.
Oh, I usually do
Origin's one of
like
those things.
I usually do like slow cooked brisket or some shit. So I put it on in the morning and it's just ready at dinner time or something like that. You know,
Smart, man. That's
Wednesday
what I was
roast.
going to say, because that's one of those ones that everyone wants to watch the pre-game, during it, and then the post-game as well. So just one of those events you basically sit on the lounge for like 3.5 hours by the time it's all said and done. Mick, I'm throwing back to, actually, no, you can sort out your beep, and I'll go to Jesse. I'll give you a couple of minutes off. What caught your eye this week, mate, on or off the field?
What did catch my eye this week? I suppose footy related. Obviously, it's buy round. Obviously, all the super coach stuff coming up to it. You know, trying to sort out everything on that side of things. I left my job this week, packed up, starting new things, new chapters, which is
Congratulations.
nice. Thank you. Yeah, moving myself. Well, I'm not moving. I'm staying where I am, but I'll be taking my employment down the coast towards Bateman. So, a bit different, you know, Pelican County. Should be a bit of fun. But yeah, no, get the week off. Hanging out. Had went to the pub yesterday as like a farewell sort of thing. Got myself a steak, $37. Unbelievable. I was like, what the hell's this?
Scotch fillet?
No, it was a sirloin.
Oof,
yeah, steep.
Don't pay more than 35 for a sirloin.
Yeah, well, you know, $2 overs, but members get it for 30. I wasn't paying for that. But yeah, no, it was all right too, but they overcooked the shit out of it. So
do you want a job, mate?
There we go. That's where I'm headed.
Did you win some of that $150 million, Jesse?
150 mil.
Did you win some of that? Is that why you've retired from your job?
No, far out. I wish I could retire. I wouldn't be driving an hour and a half to get to work. That'd be nice.
Jez, what caught your eye this week? You did have the week off as well, so actually you can probably do a 2-week one if you want.
Yeah, it's been nothing but reports over here, as all the fellow educators in the room would attest to. This is report writing time. So, got to do your own class, and then being an executive, I get to oversee nearly the whole school's report. So fun. Plenty of wine being drunk though, which is really tasty.
Oh,
look out!
Nice.
Look out! Is there an announcement here with your hat as well? Have you got like a personal sponsorship now with Bunnings that we want to?
It's just a sick hat. When I first saw the corduroy Bunnings hats, I thought, you know what, that's me all over. Raced down to the local Bunnings, and I think it was like $15. Perfect.
It's a good hat. That's a good hat. That's getting some hits already. Mika, you sorted the beeping out. What was it first of all?
The landline phone that hasn't been used in about fucking I don't know ever.
Who knows it anymore?
If you get a voicemail,
an incoming fax.
I don't know. It says out of range. I'm like, what do you mean out of range? The base and the plug is right there. Like I don't know. I'll deal with that shit later. What caught my eye? Rugby league related. A few weeks in the NRL can make a very big difference. So I can't believe the Titans and somehow some of the other teams that we would say we're going to get the spoon, how they've turned things around. Some of the teams that we said wouldn't get the spoon, how they've turned around. So that was me footy thing. I just thought, wow, that things can change quickly in the NRL. And the thing that non-footy related, high school sucks. I have a teenage daughter. If those of you who listen to Jeremy's podcast may know, I have a 13-year-old in high school. Without going into too much detail, it's been a bit of a rough week. I guess the big thing for us is trying to convey that high school is a blip on the radar. When you get out of high school, all the things you think are big are just a blip on the radar, and high school doesn't actually fucking matter. So, yeah, I'll leave that one there. But that's been a big part of our life the last few days. So.
I obviously don't know what's going on, but I'll testify what you're saying because I've got a teenage stepdaughter at the moment and in the high school arena, and I don't remember high school being anything like the way she describes things and how the kids are, and it actually just shocks me. The stories I hear, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a different time, that's for sure.
But anyway, what caught my eye this week? Mick has been into me about this last couple of days, so let's do it.
Yes, look.
The salad. Here we go.
Look,
You've got the Adam Martin, haven't you?
Oh,
Adam Martin's not here, but he is here.
he's here in spirit. Fresh cuts. He's suave.
At least it's not red.
All right, I've got two parts to this. First off is you can't. What happens with barbers is you get your hair cut. I normally go to a normal barber. I went to the same place, but my guy was off for the day. I had to go first thing. I think it was Monday morning before work and get it quickly done. He wasn't in. And then a guy who has done my hair once before, he actually did it well, but it was while the guy was in, he did it. And I was like, yeah, sweet, no worries. And I just basically zone out. It's basically like half an hour for me to zone out. And I did that, looked up when he like threw me back up to see everything and stuff. I almost had a fit. And he goes, oh, how is it? And you know how you just telling me like, oh yeah, no, this is good, bro. Thank you. Like the handshake and stuff. And then afterwards, I ran straight to the bathroom to see what I could do with this thing. I'm appalled. What do we do in this situation? Like, you can't go back and get your hair. Like, it's done. It's off.
Go on. I want the 360. I want to see the damage. Yeah, man, he took that shit all the way up, didn't he?
I never get it.
So, Joel, there's a page on Reddit, which I think you could probably put yourself on there. It's called Just Fuck My Shit Up, and it's just shocking haircuts.
I reckon you're better off just shaving that top bit off, man. Just shave it back to the rest and grow it all out.
How long have we been saying that to Adam? There you go.
Yeah,
embrace
you know what?
it.
I was tempted by, or maybe just faded at the top or something, just something, because what I've got now, it looks like I've got one of those weird big mohawk things and I'm having a midlife crisis or something. I'm not, guys. It's okay. I've just had a fucking screwed up haircut. Secondly, I've got a question for everyone, and I want everyone to get involved with the comments here, because I'm going away tomorrow. I'm going to Sydney for the game overnight, and I'll pack a bag, etc. What do you guys like to do? Because I think I'm in the basically minority, extreme minority here. I like to always check bags in, no matter if it's an overnight trip or if it's for a week. I hate carrying a bag on the plane with me. Who's a fan of having the actual carry-on luggage with you? Or are you just straight under the plane, let's forget about it until I have to get off, go get the bag, off we go?
I never check anything, I'm carry bag, and at the very most, that's it.
I hate it.
Yeah, domestic flights, we're talking here. Domestic flights.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just it's a backpack, mate. You chuck it in the overhead and away you go.
It's got a whole bag full of hair products.
There's too many variables here. How much luggage are you fucking taking?
Well, I've got to take a week.
Trip,
got to take a couple of hats.
Take your drums.
Well, no, I don't. I only take some of my drums. I use other people's drums when we travel. But even then, it's a lot of shit to check in. And all that goes for free, but you still got to check it in. So I hate checking in shit, because when I fly, I've got to check in more than normal. So when I don't fly for band stuff, I've usually just got a backpack of shit.
Yeah, perfect.
It's a backpack.
Now, don't forget, he's just going to the footy. So he's going for an overnight stay for the footy. Backpack. It's a domestic flight.
Backpack. Yeah.
Backpack.
I just hate it. I don't know what's with me with it. I can't do it. I hate it. I love to just put my bag off when I get to the airport and off. I don't know what it is. Mate, I don't know. I actually have no reason why.
You just love the carousel, don't you?
Waiting.
Your bag come out.
Waiting for your
and
bag
that's the annoying thing. You can wait like 20 minutes. So it's actually not like convenient for me, because I'm sitting there waiting for like a little bag. But I don't know. I just do it.
Toothbrush, fresh pair of boxers, change your t-shirt, can of deodorant, and iPad or some shit in your backpack. That's it.
You can put that in your pocket.
You could. In your hoodie. It's fucking cold down here, Joel. So in your hoodie pocket.
Well, that's what I feel like I'm going to overpack, because I haven't been used to the cold. So I'm going to be bringing layers on layers. So anyway, here we go.
Just before you go on barbers, I have a question. You know how you see barbers and shit right everywhere now? They're fucking everywhere. You go to one.
There's 4 in my center.
Yeah. Do you think they should be allowed to call themselves a barber if they don't give you the traditional straight razor around the ears and the back of the neck?
No.
I get that.
It pisses me off to no end. Like I always go to the same bloke and he's amazing at it. But if I have to go to somewhere different, I go, oh, barber, and I sit down, and then they're like, thanks, that'll be $25. It's like, what? And they just use the electric razor. I'm like,
what about the hot lemony towel on the face and stuff? Do you get that treatment as well?
And the eyebrows, they do the eye, like it's the whole.
Yeah, the wax up the nose, wax in the ears.
No, I've got one. I've got an electric one for home.
Deluxe treatment.
Shout
Jesse, what do
out
you
to
get? I'm actually curious.
shout
Hey?
out Kingfolk Barbers at Hamilton. They're
Oh, there
spectacular.
you go. Oh,
About
there
50
you
go to
bucks.
Hamilton
As soon as
too.
you walk in the door, they go, "Do you want a beer?" And you go, "Yes,
How
please."
good's that?
They
I go
sit
to
you down,
the
they put a hot
laneway.
towel on you, away you go.
I
Perfect.
go to Hamilton too, but I go to the laneway barber, the one that's like on the side street off down near the Oasis.
Well, now this
Infolk's
shout
at the
out's
other
happening
end.
with Jez. He might be able to get you in with mates rates or something, Mika. They might get an increase in business now with all the League of Inches listeners and watchers, and we'll always go, you know what, League of Inches, come in for a
Discount
cut.
code.
How do you go with barbers, Jesse? Because you've obviously got the beard, the beautiful hair that all just matches in. You look fake.
I can assure you I exist. I need a haircut at the moment, actually.
Just detach your beard for a second.
Yeah, I'll just let Lego just put it away, and I get the other one out. Donkey.
You look fake.
Well, it depends. Fucking idiot.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I'm always a bit sus on, like, I'll get the hair done, no worries, skin fade, thin the top out, it's a fucking mop on my head. I do a little bit, but yeah, I'm always a bit, touchy about who does the beard, and most of the time I tend to do it myself at home, unless it gets to a point like this where I'm like, oh, maybe they need to run their own tools through it, and then I'll just try and maintain it. But yeah, skin fade, short, sort it out, sort my shit out, square it up. But at the moment, I've been getting this young apprentice bloke to do my hair, and he's actually pretty good, but he takes like an hour and a half and kills me. So I pretty much need to put my whole day aside just to get it done. But he's very meticulous, so I can't knock him for it. But again, he's not fantastic on a beard yet, so I'll give him more time. But
sorry,
yes,
mate.
so
Andrew
that
Backhouse just asked for an axe reveal. Can you just reveal your axe to Andrew?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Paul.
This is what I
We're
got.
getting to the footy chat shortly. This has been a big opening.
And just put it with all my daughter's toys. Just hold on to this one, young one. It's the best I've got. Sorry, Andrew.
God. Oh my God. This has been an opening in an opening. Let's get to it, Origin boys. Origin boys. Imagine the podcast listeners. They're listening in the car. They go, "Where's this Origin chat that we're getting to that we want to listen to?" It's 20 minutes in. We're talking about haircuts. Anyway, let's talk about our initial thoughts on just. I don't want to go too deep into like the selections in terms of just our thoughts about, because we're obviously going to do our preview show in a matter of probably Monday at this stage, see who we can get on for that. But I just want to get your guys' thoughts at the moment. Jez, I'll go to you first. You've seen both teams now revealed. We're starting to get an understanding about how both teams will probably play as well. Everything's sort of now calmed down a bit after the initial period. What are your thoughts around it?
Well, now that the dust has settled, the conversation around Dylan Edwards and his selection is still pretty hot and rivaling with Tedesco and whether or not he deserved to be dropped. Because it would have been much easier if Teddy was playing terrible club footy, but he's just not. So I understand people's grievances about Teddy being dropped. I'm really excited for Edwards. He's been very consistent for a very long time, and he's in a very good system at Penrith. And if we are to ever see if he can hack it on the big stage, then there's no bigger stage than Origin. So that's exciting for him. I think the bench is probably the most exciting part. Like, looking at the bench comparison, you can see the game plan that New South Wales is going to go with. Like, it's Yo. Who have we got here? Yo Olakau'atu. Yep, murdered that one. Linu and
Adam, is that
Young.
you?
Yeah. So you can just you can tell the game plan already, and I think that's going to be super exciting. Can you imagine all of those guys on the field at the same time? That's going to be brutal in itself. And just looking at the pack comparisons, I know New South Wales is quite large in size, where Queensland are probably a bit more skillful and a bit more fleet-footed when it comes to their forwards. So it's going to be exciting. I'm pretty pumped. Am I convinced that we're going to win? I don't know. Ask me again a bit later.
We'll get to our series results and predictions shortly. Jesse, I know how much you love this, so you can be saved till last. You've already spoken a little bit about Origin. We touched on it with the New South Wales lineup. Mika, what's your initial thoughts about what you've seen so far with both sides selected, and anything you want to bring up that you're not too happy with?
I still can't believe they actually. Well, I saw someone in the media today. I can't remember what say they didn't really drop Tedesco. Like he's just had his time, and Edwards is next. But they essentially did drop.
What else do you call it?
Yeah, it was a weird. I'm sure it might have been Phil Gould. I don't know. Anyway, I still can't believe that actually happened. I thought that he would be fullback until he chose to retire. I just thought that's the way to be. I can't disagree with it. I know he's been playing decent footy this year and towards the end of last year, but he's probably time has come. You got to look to the future eventually. I think Edwards has deserved it. He's an absolute workhorse. I don't think Edwards would have worked on the wing. So that was the first thing that shocked me. The second thing that shocks me is Queensland bench. I think that's really, really odd having Harry Grant and Selwyn Cobbo on there. Surprised I couldn't find room for Fafita. But in saying that, I mean, Queensland backline, to me, I see that and I just think, Jesus Christ, New South Wales are in trouble. I would have had Latrell. I really enjoyed the way Latrell spoke in his post-game after the South Eels game. I think without him at 3, we don't have any X factor in our backline. I would have had him instead of Swatali'i. I just don't think Swatali'i's, however you say it, I think I'm pretty close. I just don't think I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he won't do well. I just don't think he's lived up to the hype that he got hit with years ago. So I would have had Latrell in there. He's a big game player, especially at centre, and I think he would have just brought something a little bit more special to the back line. So, yeah, that's what I had on my head.
I agree big time. Yeah. I think I commented on the Origin review show from the floor of my son's bedroom that I definitely would have had Latrell and Burton in the centres. They're just Origin players in those positions, and we're right that we are missing that X factor, and Latrell can bring that. I know he's not very consistent at the moment in club footy. He's been dealing with a lot of other things, but far out.
Yeah, who's the other centre again? Who's
Crichton. So I'd have Crichton and Toto on the wing. I'd have Trell and Burton in the centres. But that's just
Crichton on the wing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got nothing against Crichton at 4. Like him, Burton's either to me. I think Crichton's probably a little bit more exciting than Burton. So, I can understand where you're coming from, but can't disagree.
I think the more I think about things with this team for New South Wales, the more I'm quite content with it. I feel like Madge has picked 17 or 18 players who are effort players. They have those effort upon effort plays where if we're talking about Latrell and I think everyone knows this by now, he doesn't have that in his game to be continually on the ball, making those effort on effort plays. And I think was his downfall. I have no doubt in my mind Queensland are breathing a sigh of relief that he's not there. But I also can understand why Madge hasn't gone that way either, if that makes sense, because Crichton doesn't stop. He's shown that to us on the biggest stages of the game already in his short career. He's still very young as well. It's crazy to think. Suaalii, I do agree with this. I don't think he has lived up to the hype as such, but he's never put the hype on himself. It's been the media. It's been everyone else. So he can't be blamed for that. He has had some good moments, but I think his best moments have been while playing wing. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a switch up with him and Lomax maybe as the game gets closer and Suaalii becomes the winger and Lomax becomes the centre. But in saying that, Lomax has played his best this year on the wing as well. So it's an interesting balance. I do know one thing with the back line, they're all massive meter eaters, so they'll get through some work, and I think that'll help our forwards out a lot.
Yeah, and just on Andrew Backhouse's point, he picks centres for centres. Latrell is a centre. Like, he's played his best footy at centre. And I think what you spoke about there, Joel, when you said Latrell's not a 80-minute effort player. He's an explosive player in and out. And being a fullback is an 80-minute player. You've got to be pushing up around the ruck, supporting, doing fold-around plays. Whereas, with a centre, I feel like it's less involved in that. It's more defensive decisions and when the ball comes to you in space on your side, So I think if he was picked at centre, where he should be week in, week out, you see a different Latrell. It's just a completely different Latrell.
Yep.
Jesse,
100%.
How's you like the back line, or you would have had some changes?
Yeah, I think I covered a bit of it when we did that that Origin talk anyway, but I do like most of it. Obviously, the Suwali thing kind of, deterred me a little bit, but like it's one of those positions too, center. You don't need to outthink the room with, you know what I mean? Like I don't see Suwali as the player that New South Wales can turn to like a turbo when they need a moment to break the game open. But Latrell can be that guy. So defensively, you've got your moments, you've got the second rowers around them, you've got players like they're obviously going to do their job, and Latrell can still do that. Like even you saw the Rabbits the other night when he was pretty much playing in the front row, he was everywhere, he was killing it, and he did some really good things. He just obviously when he's a bit more involved in the actual play and build up, not sitting all the way back at fullback, things happen around him. Whether or not he's actually got his hands on it or not, he just is amongst it. I think him at centre would have been the smart decision. But yeah, even to Jez's point, Burton, fucking Dally M centre, he's a gun. Him being 18th man, I don't think benefits anyone. I think obviously
He
I do
needs to be
like.
in the 17.
Yeah, he just needs to be in the bench somewhere for that utility role. Like you can put him anywhere. You know what I mean? You can play him anywhere at all. And I think if we do have an injury in the back line, we're going to be pretty well caught out from it. But besides that, like I'm a fan of Edwards getting picked, even if it means Teddy misses out and he gets dropped. It's too hard to ignore Edwards right now. He's just been so good, and you have to pick him on that. I think the other guys kind of picked himself, so it's pretty easy. But yeah, I just know that Madge loves Suoliti as a personal thing. Like he loves him from a junior. He's loved him all the way up. So he's obviously picked him out of favoritism more than anything else. See how he performs. But I think, yeah, I don't know. Wonder if it's one of those things. If he shits the bed, does Burton get plugged straight in there for game 2, or what does he do? You know what I mean?
I'm not sure. It would be interesting. Just on Paul's comment, I understand what he's trying to say. The more, as I said, the more I've been able to think about these teams, and I've basically just got on board with the New South Wales from a fan's point of view. I do like the team. I think Burton needed to be the 14 because then it would have helped cover that back line that Queensland does have. It's crazy to see Queensland with Cobbo. We'll chat about that in a second. But the more that happens as well, the more I understand why. I think our bench is stronger, and I think we'll have a lot of good impact from our forwards off the bench. Spencer, I can't wait to see Spencer in this environment. I really can't, and I hate what he did early on that first game, and if anything, I'd thought at the time he probably deserved even longer a ban. But he's back. He's played some good footy, and I can't wait to be supporting him on Wednesday night. I'll be supporting him and just see what he can do, because New South Wales, I feel like, have missed this mongrel player for a while who it's probably Paul Gallen's the last one, and since he's retired, we haven't really had anyone who will just stand up and say, we're not copying your shit anymore, Queensland. Like we're going to give it straight back to you. And if we can get to the stage on Wednesday night where it's Payne, Haas, and Spencer together on the field for like a 15, 20-minute period, geez, we're going to be having some go forward. That's like the backs and the halves will be loving playing behind those two.
And then throw in some Hudson Young kind of mongrel as well. He's, as much as I dislike him because he plays for Canberra and he's a Newcastle boy and he always smacks us, he's the type of bloke that you want in a representative footy team. There was a point that was brought up, and I think it was posted today on one of the pages around Matt Burton being 18th man, rules him out for the Canterbury game.
Yeah.
And should there be any sort of leniency around 18th man still being able to play for their club?
Oh, well, potentially.
Didn't Reid Marnie go back and play for Parramatta? Was he 19th man or some shit? Like a year or two ago?
Don't know.
I think he was 19th man, and then
he left
in camp, and then there was something happened, and he went back into camp straight afterwards or something. So
he went back and played for Parramatta.
Like Ezra Mam could go and play for the Broncos because he's just in the squad.
Yeah, Reid Marnie did it. Yeah, Reid Marnie did it. Must have been.
So, what's your thoughts on the 18th man being able to play?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either. Like, how many times does 18th man get on the field?
I think
not often. Yeah.
I
think it's a disadvantage.
I like the way it is.
Clubs.
Yeah,
I think it is a disadvantage.
No, they're literally there as a backup. So let them play club footy.
Pretty much.
I think,
especially for the Dogs
with Origin.
how much they
with
need.
Origin, it's a different beast. I feel like there's more and more likely that the 18th man does get used in the State of Origin games. So I can understand it. The thing that makes me a bit, I don't know, I feel odd about this one is Kiri's now been spoken about. If Hines can't get right, it's Kiri's in the team, but he's still allowed to play for the Roosters at the moment. So he can go and play for the Roosters on the weekend. They keep it all quiet, and then he'll be able to back up straight away on Wednesday night and play. Like he'll actually be able to do that. I think that's a bit more of a, I don't know. I can understand the 18th man with the current rules, the HIAs, etc., and that in Origin there is a fair chance they'll probably will get on the field and play some minutes.
But you're talking about playing a game of footy at latest on Sunday at 4:00 in the afternoon, and then Origin is like 3 days later. Like, why is that even an issue?
Well, that's the big thing there is that it was in the big agreement thing that they were talking about at the start of the year that the players want no less than 5 days or something. Less than 5 days they can't have. So that's what they were going on about. So you can't have Sunday into Wednesday. That's going off. That's them taking. They've made themselves look like liars. Exactly into the RLPA. So
just put your hand up and go, look, I'm tougher than that.
Pick and
I'll
choose.
fucking play when I want.
I've got
it was just a thought. It was just a thought. I liked the thing that they were talking about. I thought it was a pretty good topic, and
I understand why.
I think the Bulldogs are pretty cheesed off that if he's just going to be 18th man, that he can't play for him on the weekend.
Yeah. Does anyone think Hines is actually going to play? Does anyone think Hines is ever going to play? Surely Kiri, if he started training today, he's playing 7.
I don't know why they don't just stick with Burton Luai as their halves. Surely that's got to be better than, Luai Kiri. Surely.
See, I don't see either of Burton or Burton or Luai as a steering half. Like Kiri can at least do that. He's done that before.
But Luai did it on the weekend against the Sharkies. Probably
Luai's
one of his best games he's ever played.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, sorry, I've just got a funny meme around the comparison of the 13s. Yeah. Because I spoke about this the other day. No one knew what I was talking about. This is Cam McInnes. Do you remember
this?
I
love that tackle. That tackle was incredible.
That was the best.
I still don't understand why he even did that. He was already miles away.
Yeah, it was so odd, wasn't it? Yeah. I send that to Mick Cronulla, mate, every time he mouths off at me about how good they're going. I just send him that and go, mate, they're only one game away from playing like this.
And then there's the shooting stars meme where it just keeps him going off into the universe.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I reckon that meme and the one where the Knights player is looking to catch the ball, but the ball...
Jake Mamo.
Yeah, I reckon that and that one be favourite. Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. We're talking about pretty much the back line. We're talking about Burton. Forward pack for New South Wales. If I look at it on paper, I feel like the forward pack for New South Wales is a slight advantage at the moment. Queensland, I want to bring it up. How they haven't chosen David Feeder, I've got no idea. I feel like he's come back and he has been almost in as good as form as he's ever been in. He's helped the Titans dramatically. I think it's clear as day that the Titans have grown another leg while David Feeder's on the field. And just as little as on the weekend against the Broncos, and they were depleted. And he stood up perfectly and just played the perfect role. He didn't overplay his hand. He did just enough and so much quality around what he did and helped lead the Titans to a victory. I know Weaver was great as well, and so was Keeney, but he's really developed into a leader for mine. And I'm just shocked that Queensland being Queensland, they always pick and stick and they go on about this shit to us. And we have to keep buying it and going, oh, yeah, you're so good because they keep winning. Yeah, you pick and stick. They did it last year to Dane Gagai. They didn't pick him. And now this year, Dave Fafita doesn't make the side. I am, as a New South Wales fan, I'm loving it because he scares the shit out of me. I'm so glad we don't have to verse him on the weekend. Jesse?
Oh, 100%. He's the first name on my team sheet, if I'm Billy Slater. I just don't understand it. And his comments saying that he's come out and he, performed at a really high standard, he set himself a bar and he's playing under that at the moment to why he wasn't selected. Whatever standard he thinks that he's playing below, it's still higher than all the other options he's got to choose from. Even a 6 out of 10 David Feeder is better than a 10 out of 10 Pia Kura, in my opinion. So I don't understand it, but I don't hate it. I'm very, very glad he's not selected. And to your comment about like the forward pack, like for like, I think the Blues beat out Queensland in every position, like for like, from 8 all the way through to 13, personally. But whether that's a bit of bias, in my opinion, I just put them side by side, and I just think the Blues just look better. How they play is a different story, but yeah, I'm a fan.
Even Hooker?
Better than Ben Hunt,
and
Reece
Harry
Robson.
Grant.
Well, see, Harry Grant's off the bench, so
yeah, but that's
a bit different. By the
Splitting hairs.
time Harry Grant's on the field, I would imagine McInnes is probably playing in the 9 or thereabouts. And to that point, then yeah, I'm still fine with it. Robson's not a bad player at all. I'll take that every day of the week. So, yeah, obviously the only one that I would question is Pat Carrigan, because he's a freak of the game. So, he's a fantastic player for them to have at lock, which is great. We've obviously got McInnes and Yo, so we're not lacking in that department. I think our props are better. Form-wise, Cotter's been great. Collins hasn't been, but we've got Haas and Jake Turbo, so they're fantastic. The only one that I wouldn't be super fresh on really would be Liam Martin, and I don't expect him to play in general because I think he's injured. But either way, Olakuatu's there, so it's like mad. He's a weapon as well. So
their bench is clearly missing Dave Fifita, in my opinion. If he was on that team on the bench, it is perfection.
Yeah, I would have had Cobbo in the back line instead of who's there? Holmes.
Tuolangi, I would have.
I would have had Cobbo instead of Tuolangi, and then Fifita on the bench.
Yeah, 100%. Jez, is there any thoughts on the Queensland team, or you just don't care? You're like, whatever.
I feel for Dane Gagai. He's been playing some really, really good footy. But as a Knights fan, I like that there's no Knights in the Origin side, so that rules out some injuries or anything like that, which is good. But I definitely think he's been playing better footy than Val Holmes, but whatever. In terms of forward packs, the Queensland forwards, their hair is far better than ours. I'm looking through. We've got Ruben Cotter is down to his shoulders.
Back on fucking hair again. Jesus.
Sua's down to his shoulders. Nanai's got a bit of a mullet. And then you've got Paddy Carrigan. Oh, my goodness. This bloke is a man now. And his hair
he's a very beautiful man.
He must use Pantene Pro V or Maximum Shine or something like that because it is gorgeous. In terms of rugby league, I agree with Jesse. I think whack for whack, we are probably outperforming them at the moment. Put that in an Origin arena is another story. But for mine, I would have had Api Coruscant as my hooker. I like him better than Reece Robson. Reece Robson is a good player, but he hasn't been a standout player in a pretty average team this year. Like, you wouldn't say that he's been the one that's been stepping up every week, where Api Coruscant, in quite an equally hot and cold sort of team, is the standout every game. So that would be my change. I would have Api over Reece Robson, but Reece Robson does have the biggest chest in the game.
Yeah, that's why he's put him in there. He's a nugget. He's put him in there because he's tough, I reckon.
His boobies are huge.
I thought it was all padding to begin with. It's massive.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, it's like out here. He's like,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
With the Appy thing, Chris is sort of talking about the defense part of things. I also, and we spoke about this, Jesse, on Monday night when we spoke about the Blues side. I actually, controversially, I don't think Appy's had as good of a season as people are making out. I think he's been in a very, very poor side, and he's been this almost clear standout consistently this year. That's made him perhaps look a little bit better than he has been performing. And he's also got a back issue at the moment that he hasn't been able to play 80 minutes for a number of weeks now because of. So, and this is, I guess, another question before we get on to our prediction for the series is Madge came out a few weeks ago and said he only wants players who can literally train from the day one. There's already 2 players in Nico Hines and Liam Martin who can't train in this squad. So is it because there's pretty much no one else and he's just hoping and praying that Nico Hines is fit to go by Wednesday? Because he seems like a hard taskmaster Madge, and the fact that he's already gone back on his word the first game of this first series in control of, it's not the greatest look.
Not really.
Jez? No, Jez, yeah.
Well, yeah, like I don't think he had to pick Hines. There was no other option. Even if he was just nursing this niggle, you can't just pick someone else. Like who else is going to be Moses? He wasn't even available for that game. Walker
Well,
got injured.
Kiri apparently.
Kiri, I suppose, if he comes out for his team and he names Kiri in his starting 7, people are going to burn the place down. Like it's going to be outrage.
I think he should be. I'm a Kiri fan for the 7.
Get out of here. Liam Martin, though, you can let that one go because he actually is injured, and we've got plenty of second row forwards.
Well, then that means Mitch Barnett is going to be playing Origin, which is awesome. As a former Newcastle boy, he left on good terms. I love Mitch Barnett. I love everything about him. I was sad when he left. So there you go. There you go, Ryan. There you go, Goosey.
Yeah. Goosey's love it though. No, Andrew, just quickly. Goosey hasn't been banned tonight. We have a normal set roster when it comes to this Wednesday show that I know everyone loves, but he's also he's come on board. He's the new kid on the block, and he's become a bit of a smartass already, trying to go at Parramatta and his whole Mitch Barnett talk. I know now Jesse's on board with it, but it just got a bit much. I think we needed a break from the old Mitch Barnett talk, and here we are. Jesse's now going off, so it hasn't worked for us.
No. Classic
but
Barnett.
I agree. Mitch Barnett has been very, very good this year, so he would not look out of place on that bench if Liam Martin is out.
Yeah, Mika, if Kiri does play, then you can guarantee Burton will be used in this game because he's one head knock away from not playing ever again. So at least the Bulldogs won't be upset because Burton will play.
That's rich coming from a Newcastle fan. Ponga's count is down to 1 as well.
Yeah, but Ponga's already out, so who cares? We love David Armstrong.
He hasn't.
It's Origin talk, mate. Get back into Origin.
Armstrong forever, Ponga never.
I just think that given the history, like everyone's talking about how Luai's played now, like do you not remember how his last Origin games have been? I just don't think he's an Origin player.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like he hasn't got Cleary next to him where he had his other Origins. Like he got dropped from Origin last year, right? He's never. I just don't think he's got the attitude for Origin. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I think he's played decent football this year. I still think any number 6 outside of Cleary has the same accolades though. So I don't know.
Providing everyone's fit, Luai's not there.
Saying, yeah,
no, it's not.
They don't have any option.
We know this.
It's the best that we've got, and it could have been, but either way, they'll make do.
We could talk about Origin for hours. We do have an Origin show coming up, guys. So I don't want to take all our content away. We have got some NRL stuff to talk about. So let's just finally, I want to get our series predictions. So what we reckon the series scoreline will be and our player of the series. Jesse, off you go.
Where is it? There.
Oh, 3-0.
Right there. 3-0. Dylan Edwards, player of the series.
Is that legit? Do you think New South Wales are going to go 3-0?
Nah, look, I'm being hopeful. I am being passionate about it. I'm not going to fucking put any wins on that Queensland bloody cane toad state rubbish. No, not for me. I'm not even going to, not even going to speculate. I'm going to put it out into the universe that I reckon they'll win a game or two. Good chance they do, but not for me. I'm going to say 3-0 just out of passion, but I reckon they'll get 1 on us.
It's really funny. Like, it's probably a little bit, not really off topic. Like, I love New South Wales. I love Origin. It's the best footy to watch. If New South Wales lose, I just go, like, Parramatta lose, and I'm fucking depressed for a week. Like, I don't know.
I'm the complete opposite. Parramatta lose, and I'm loving it. But
yeah, I don't know. It's odd. Anyway,
Mika, what's your predictions?
I don't think it'll be 3-0, but I think Queensland will win it. Well, it's really hard to pick at the moment
2-1.
because it depends. Yeah, 2-1, but it depends on what players New South Wales get back. I don't know. I don't think the team that New South Wales have for game 1 will be the team for New South Wales in game 2 and 3.
It never is.
If Moses is fit, he'll be 7.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And he should be. And don't come at me with your Moses hate. He's always done well at Origin.
Yeah, well, ram this down your throat. Get ready.
What about you?
It's going to be 2-1 to the Blues. going to be 2-1 to the Blues. It's going to go to a decider. And Mitch Moses is going to be player of the series because he will be back for game 2 and 3.
Oh,
yeah.
look,
It's in
I'd love
Queensland.
that.
So jam that up, yeah, Mika.
I'd love that. I'd love it.
I hate that. I hate that game 3's in Queensland.
Play the series. If I'm picking Queensland 2-1, it's going to be a Queenslander, isn't it?
They're all rubbish.
Reece Walsh. I'm going the easy route.
Mika. I'm trying to be professional here. I'm going with your Queensland 2-1, as much as it hurts to say. I'm used to not backing my team at the moment, being a Para fan, so that's a bit easier this year. And I was going to say Reece Walsh. I'll go for the storyline, though. I'm going to say Cherry Evans on his final season. He'll announce his retirement at the end of this series, and he'll lead the Queenslanders to that victory on the decider. I won't say now. I actually do think we might win on Wednesday night. But anyway, let's talk about some more NRL stuff. The Cronulla Sharks. So we talked about them last week, and we mentioned, I think most of us did mention that we're got them as sort of in that contender bracket now. They're playing some good football, some good wins. I want to know if the weekend's results, 42-0 at home to the Penrith Panthers, they got absolutely demolished and literally did not look like they were there from the opening kickoff. Penrith just absolutely monstered them and suffocated them out of that game early on. Does it scare us in terms of having them as contenders, or we're going to give them a night off and they're still in this competition, Mika?
Last week, I said I thought they'd change this year, and I was trying to do this thing because I had a really good mate of mine tell me he's been listening to the podcast, and he says I'm too negative. He goes, I agree with what you say, but he goes, you can't just be like, this team's doing this wrong, this team's doing this wrong. Try and add in some, but they're doing this right. So I remember thinking about that specifically when you asked me about the Sharks. After last weekend, I went back and looked at their draw because I was like, man, maybe I was wrong. Their draw has once again been ridiculously favourable this year. Yes, they beat the Roosters and they beat, Melbourne, and they played good, but they couldn't go with the top team for the third week in a row. They couldn't even compete with the top team in the third week in a row, a top team that had a lot of players out. Although I do think they're playing with a bit more calmness in their attack this year, it's too hard to tell if they're actually contenders because their draw is just so ridiculously lopsided in their favour. And it continues that way too. So I'm changing my mind. I'm going back to not they're pretenders again. I'm actually contemplating tipping Parramatta tomorrow night.
Where was the positivity that you were talking about?
Nah.
I tipped them last week.
See, that's
Never again.
Positivity led me down a false path. I just need, I'm harsh, but I'm fair, right? So that's what I need to stick with. I'm actually tipping Parramatta tomorrow night. Maybe. I don't know. Depends how many. No, I'm actually working tomorrow night, so I won't be having beers. I'm coming third in my tipping comp. I need to roll the dice, so I might roll the dice with Parramatta. Right?
I'll take the Adam Martin role in this one. Mika's already mentioned their draw, which is very favourable. I think we wish that all of our teams had their draw and might be producing some similar results. They're still playing better footy than last year. However, I think this might be just a little incline as to what maybe week 2 of the finals might look like. And we've spoken about this a fair amount when it comes to the Sharks. Let's see if they can do it come finals time. And I think this might have been just a little bit of a preview of Cronulla in the finals.
Yeah, agreed.
Adam, is that you? Is that you in disguise tonight?
Hair.
Because
I wish I still had hair like that.
Also, why didn't you listen to me when I told you to be more positive? You told me to go and get stuffed.
You did it in a different way. The point you were trying to make at the time was completely different. You were just like, you never say anything
negative,
positive.
Nelly.
I'm like,
Jesse, I believe last week you did call them contenders, didn't you?
Yeah,
You
I
had
still
them in-
consider them to be
yeah.
quite good, to be fair. Like, obviously, you can't be riding high for that long, you know. Like, eventually it has to come crashing down. And realistically, against Penrith, it's very expected. I did the silly thing and just tipped against Penrith for the first time ever. And it, bit me in the ass. So never again. But yeah, look, the draw was favourable. They still have to win those games. I think they've been quite lucky to avoid any major injuries as well, considering some of the key players that other guys have dropped. Obviously, Hines disappeared and then they went to shit. So there's a problem for them. It's almost like, yeah, one guy goes and the rest of them sort of follow. But yeah, I still feel like they'll win their games more often than not. But then, yeah, it's always that same old song and dance come finals. They crash out instantly. So I don't know. I reckon it's going to happen again this year, though. I still reckon they bow out week 2, but I think they'll do quite well to get close to a minor in the meantime.
Very hard, by the way, Donna. It's I've got like 4 on the weekend.
Yeah, it was a shocker.
And Andrew, your stat is right there. I have been to Comeback once, and that was this year, and we beat Manly. So that's on there. So who knows? Sure. No short.
I stupidly went against Mika's hot tip, which was don't tip Parramatta for the rest of the season, and I bloody tipped Parramatta, didn't I?
Goal.
So
I said don't tip him until Moses is back. I can't believe you tipped him against South on Indigenous round.
Well, I wanted one to be different. We're all tipping the same teams. I thought, come on, Para, surely. Nah.
I tipped Para too, thinking the same thing.
Up here for thinking, down here for dancing.
I'll put a post up today about Reece Walsh. He is coming up out of contract, I think, next year, so he can negotiate.
Did you answer the question about Cronulla?
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Yeah, come on.
I thought I was just post for a second.
You can't skip this.
I was right on them last week. I am very concerned about them after the weekend's performance because that was a big one for them because they hadn't been at home for, I think, 3 weeks prior to that. So they had a full house. They would have, I know, 2 big games before that, and I think the Roosters game took a lot out of them at Magic Round. I understand all that, but that was a point to prove on the weekend, and I would not have minded if they did lose the game, but they were in the contest. They literally weren't in that contest at all, and that was at home. So they didn't even have the excuse of it was like a Townsville trip. It was just one of those ones you just put it away and you go, yeah, whatever. They were at home. They would have had a great lead into that week, even though they were probably on light duties for most of the week. They were there for a reason. They were there to win the game. Hello, Adam. And the Pretenders. No, I'm just thinking the Pretenders mark is a very harsh mark, I feel like, for a team of the Sharks' caliber this year. They have to have played some very good football the 2 weeks prior to the weekend.
I wouldn't say they're pretenders. I just don't
think
that I still don't think they can compete with the top teams week in, week out. Yeah. Like your teams like
Agreed.
And shit like that.
Agreed.
I'll put it this way. If they're to versus the Shark, the Storm, the Roosters or Penrith in the finals, they won't win. That's their obstacle. So I don't think they'll win the comp, but I think they can be the 4th team if that in the top 4. So we'll see what happens there, especially with their run. Their run is actually very, very good on this run home. So I know me and Jesse from a coach point of view are looking at
they could still get that minor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they push the minor, but I think they bow out quite quickly, which is pretty shit. So.
All right, Reece Walsh. I put a post up today. There's been a lot of comments about it. Everyone's starting to have their say. He's out of contract next year, so he can negotiate from, I think it's November this year, is the date. No doubt in my mind there'll be a number of clubs circle Reece Walsh. If the Broncos are smart and they genuinely are with this stuff, they'll re-sign him over the next couple of weeks, probably after Origin, and there'll be no point in even talking about this conversation. But I want to know, put your CEO hat on, and we all go for teams not being the Broncos. So let's just say for our own club, what would you pay Reece Walsh to come over to your club at the moment? What do you think he is worth on the market? Jez, I'll let you go first this one.
Well, we have a plethora of fullbacks and halfbacks, so
all right, for you,
maybe go to someone else.
All right, hang on. No, you are the CEO of the Rabbitohs. Latrell's going to centre, and you've got the chance to sign Reece Walsh. What are you giving him?
Well, yeah, it'd be up there. It'd be around that Ponga sort of mark, isn't it? Like, you've got to throw some serious coin at him to lure him out of the Broncos, but I agree that I think the Broncos will snaffle him up pretty quickly and make sure that they've locked him in because they're a pretty well-run organisation. But definitely, what is Ponga on? What's he? Is he still the highest paid? No, Cleary is.
1.3, something like that.
Yeah, you're looking around that. You're looking around that 1.3, 1.4 mark, surely. He's a player of the future. He's still young. He is charismatic. He will put bums on seats. He makes sure all the females are watching and boosts the viewer numbers. So, he's quality. He is star power in itself. I really like Reece Walsh. So definitely up there, that 1.5.
Mika, Mika's done something I've never seen before. You've gone for an on-air drink break. This is fantastic stuff.
Gone for a reload.
Someone in the comments dared me to do a strawpedo, and peer pressure.
Now you've been talked into it. Okay. So do you want to do the short video before or after you answer the question?
No, we'll do it in a bit. How much is he on now?
He'd be on like 600 or something, 500.
Yeah.
They got him quite cheap because he came back from the wires.
Yeah.
He wouldn't come home.
He'll get over $1 million. My issue with fullbacks getting over $1 million, and I think Ponga's a good example of this. If you're paying a fullback 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, you don't have enough money left to buy really good halves. And if you don't have really good halves, your fullback doesn't get good ball. So I don't know. I wouldn't be paying him 1.5, even though he's probably worth it. 1.3, 1.4.
It's hard though, because I'm basing that off the benchmark. Like, I wouldn't pay him that much because I would want to leave space in the cap.
That was the question, but how much
then I wouldn't get him. He would go to
to
someone else that could pay more money. He wouldn't come to me.
Yeah, true.
So I'm trying to play the game at the same time.
It's very tricky. I don't know. I'll give him 1.3 and go, that's it. You either want to come and play for me or you don't. Get the fuck out.
Jesse, there's a lot of Roosters comments in here. Maybe people know a bit of something that we don't know about. There is some backline talent out of here from the Roosters on next year. So you know what? If Uncle Nick generally can find a big name to get when he wants one, I don't see Walsh coming. But we can talk to you about this one. The Roosters sombrero. What are you signing Reece Walsh for?
Well, he's on 400 right now. So there's one for you.
He's getting a pay raise
for the Roosters. If it's for the Broncos, it's 800. Surely you can't pay him $1 million. What's he done? What's he done except dive in the air like a flop and score extravagant tries here and there? Honestly,
he'll get over $1 million. He'll get over $1 million.
Have really pretty eyes.
20, and some. He's gonna. That's a lot of eyeliner, man. 1.1 worth. I just like.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
He's a great player. I just think he's got stardom all about him. He's got plenty of time to get 1.3, 1.5 mil. I just think it's bad business if the Broncos just throw 1.2 at him right now. I just think it's silly. I think if they've got any intention of something, obviously, I don't think he goes anywhere else but the Broncos. But like, surely 800 to $1 million. Surely any more than that, and it's just ridiculous.
I reckon if he stays at the Broncos, he stays for either right on $1 million or just under. If he goes to another club, he'll be going for about 1.5. I've got no doubt about it. A club to get him would have to go high.
Tigers.
And the thing is, he's clearly a very good talent on the field. And I anticipate he'll be probably the best player in the game within the next 2 years. I really rate this kid. I never used to, especially at the Warriors. I always thought there was a bit of overhype on him. I didn't think he'd be able to fit into first grade. He was a smaller player, although he just get ragdolled everywhere. But he just doesn't. He just constantly just feels like he's a level above pretty much anyone on the field. And the way he played Origin last year just solidified to me. He's ready for the biggest stages in our game, and he doesn't get scared or intimidated by any of it, which for mine produces him those big dollar contracts. I'd have him right up there. I think he 1.5 to get him at your club to move him away from Brisbane is crazy money, but it's also, as I said, not just on the field. Clubs will start looking at him as a massive money, financial backer off the field as well. Look at the social media posting that these days that the game has, and it's a business now. The game is a business. He's probably the biggest moneymaker in the game off the field as well. So club, whoever had him, imagine the jersey sales that the Broncos would have at the moment with the number one Walsh at the back and the females that watch all these TikToks and the Broncos TikToks, whenever. I think I heard a stat a couple of weeks ago. Anytime that there's a TikTok or a reel on Instagram that features Reece Walsh, the views and like the shares and everything is like quadrupled.
Fucking 700,000 of them are Kira Lee Martin from 9 Hunter Street Greeter.
He's just doxed himself.
Damn.
No, I think there's too many examples of teams who have fully loaded their cap into football, like Parramatta 09 and the years after that, like Newcastle, even though they're doing well this year. Like, I don't know. I think clubs surely aren't going to give them everything out of the cap because they know that they've got no space to spend money anywhere else. So I don't think you'd get 1.5.
Desperate clubs will, though. It's what they do. It's what poorly run clubs without future, like without view on the horizon. That's what they'll do.
But will he go to a poorly? Does he need to?
No, I reckon he's Broncos through and through. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's in such a good system there. He's got good people around him. I think he's on a good thing at Brisbane, and they'll probably get him in and close to that $1 million mark, maybe just slightly under. But that's because Brisbane are a very well-run club.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Even the West Tigers could offer him $2 million a year, still wouldn't go. He'd sit there and go, "No thanks, keep your money. I'm happy to play up here and win potentially a competition." Last one for the night. I feel like the wooden spoon race has been tipped on its head over the last week or two. Some teams are starting to play a lot better than we anticipated. Mika mentioned earlier in the night the Titans look like maybe they were on the verge of potentially a wooden spoon. They're playing some really good football now. They're really in that dogfight most weeks. And then teams like Parramatta, Rabbitohs have looked a little bit better. Parramatta definitely haven't. The Tigers haven't won for, I think, 8 weeks now. It's quickly crept up on us. That good start they had is just gone who knows where, maybe to Bali. They need to come back. Who's your wooden spoon favourites at the moment? Jesse, I'll throw to you first. What team, if you had to put your money on your house on it, who's getting the wooden spoon?
Beginning of the season, I would have said Titans. Then I would have said Rabbits. Now I want to say the Eels. And I think I'll probably go with that. But again, I don't know if the Eels turn something around in the meantime. Sorry, boys. Nothing personal. It's tricky. It's like there's a few, man. There's a few in there, and it changes every 3 weeks. I'd love to say the Rabbitohs. Personally, I just think they're on the way up. Eels, Tigers, potentially. The two. I saw the comments. They're right. I'd have to be one of them, surely.
Lock it in. Who are you locking in? Only one. No sit on the fence in this show. Come on.
Tigers, then. They're just so bad.
Get the abuse. He just changed his mind and you're getting abuse.
Bloody hell. Sorry, guys. Jeez, I can't. This is predominantly an Eels supported group. I'm not going to say you guys are getting the spoon. I'll get roasted.
You're all right. We roast our own team, so it's all good.
Exactly right.
Mika, you can have the rebuttal being that the Eels fan. Do you think it's Parramatta bound or you got someone else?
On current form, I would say Parramatta. Like, the team coming last just scored 42 points against us. However, looking at the ladder now, because I had to look and see the points and who was where, I think the Eels and the Rabbitohs, now that Moses and Gutho are back, and a few positional changes have been made, I think the Eels and the Rabbitohs have too good of a roster. I can't see either of them staying down the bottom. So I'm going to have to go. The Titans have been playing good footy. I'm going to still go Dragons or Tigers, and I'm going to say Tigers just because the Dragons are bloody 6 points above the Tigers. I think the Warriors will string a few wins together. I think the Titans are playing decent footy now that Des is starting to get his footprint on them. So sorry, Tigers fans. Yeah, I'm going to go Tigers.
You're not sorry. You're hoping that is the case. Jez, the Knights have taken the express road lately. They're just zoomed away from the wooden spoon territory, so you can breathe a huge sigh of relief. What team do you think is going to be grabbing that wooden item?
Again, like similar to Mika, I had to have a look at the ladder. And you'd like to think that with the Eels and their players returning, you'd like to think they're going to string a couple of wins together. Whether or not the teams that are around them will also string wins together or will continue to slip and slide. Unfortunately, I think I'm just going to echo the choir here. And I don't want it to be, but I honestly think it's going to be the Tigers. Just having a look at the teams down the bottom, I don't think the Rabbits will stay down there much longer. They'll jump on the back of that. They've got some things in the works. The Titans will keep stringing wins together here and there. As I said, if Parramatta get their roster back, they're too good to finish last. The Warriors will bounce back. So, yeah, it's real tricky. I think it's going to compress pretty quickly, but it's definitely Dragons, Tigers sort of territory. And unfortunately,
what about the Cowboys? What about the Cowboys?
I still think they're going to get those wins here, there, everywhere, where the Tigers might not get it as frequently. I still think the Cowboys can pull off an upset or just, scrape in some wins. I think there's a bit more fight, a bit more dog in their fight, where the Tigers seems to roll over a little bit more, and I don't see their wins coming as frequently as I do the other teams. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to go the Tigers, sadly. At the start of the year, I had the Raiders, I think.
Didn't we all?
Yeah.
No, I think I had the Dragons, I feel like.
I always tip the Tigers for the spoon. So if they added an 18th team, the Tigers would come 18th.
This pains me to say. It actually really pains me, but I genuinely believe the spoon is Parramatta bound this year. Just the club just looks so stale at the moment. On paper, everyone keeps talking about on paper that it shouldn't be the case. Everyone's right. But our club is fallen so far behind and away from itself that I don't think majority of that playing group care anymore. And I just don't see it improving like that. On the weekend was just embarrassing to have 42 points scored against you by almost a reserve grade side with Latrell and Cook in it. And Cook was in the centres for majority of the game and Latrell was out of position at 5'8" for majority of the game. It was just... It wasn't great. I can see the valid argument with the Tigers. They're the other one that I think it will be a race out of, but unfortunately, I just don't like what I'm seeing with Parramatta. So I'm going to give us the dreaded spoon this year, and hopefully it gives us a reason to shake things up. All right, 5 or so minutes of question time, guys. I'm going to give the best questions. So get your questions in. The 5 bonus entries for this Eels Storm Field Club ticket entries. So get your best question in. We'll give you a couple of minutes. I did star a couple from earlier in the night. We can answer while you get your questions in. Only a minute or two to get those in, so quickly shoot us through. So first of all, the way we start, hang on, we'll go to Mika first. Mika, do you want to do this as the questions are rolling?
See if I spit it all over the carpet again.
Oh, no.
This has been a while. Here we go.
We don't condone this behavior, guys. Yeah.
God damn.
So I remember this on the podcast. He's currently sculling for those podcast listeners, and he's finished already. So
is that all over your shirt?
It's down his shirt.
Oh,
yeah.
Tiniest little bit,
and possibly up his nose as well.
The burps.
That was pretty good. That one. That wasn't as bad as the last one.
Oh. You hold it back.
So Paul, at the start of the show, we obviously were a bit. Who knows what happened? But there was no smoking of anything before the show. We were just in a great mood. We were just loving being in each other's company and being in good spirits, having a good laugh. So there was nothing. There was nothing there. We don't condone any of that.
I never smoke, only suppositories.
Jesus Christ.
God.
Shelfies.
Suppositories before the show.
We don't really do tips or anything on this, but Paul did ask a bit earlier. Do we think? Does anyone think we'll win tomorrow? He's a Para fan.
Who's we?
Parramatta versus Sharks. Does anyone think Parramatta will beat the Cronulla Sharks tomorrow night?
No.
I don't know. I fucking had Sharks. I've tipped Sharks as soon as I could put my new tips in, right? And then I looked at the team's names today, and I was like, maybe we can. Surely we've got to win one eventually. We've had a pretty shit run. I don't know. I'm undecided.
No, I think the Sharks will bounce back.
That bounce back thing's big, isn't it?
The Eels are still waiting for it.
When's our bounce back happening? Come on.
Yeah.
Never tipping the Eels ever again.
I don't know. I don't want to say too much because we're
this
playing the
year.
Bulldogs at home, so I'm trying to keep calmer on our side. I can see the
You know
Bulldogs
what?
toweling us up.
Fuck it. I'm going Parramatta. Yes.
Good
we
on
can
you. I thought it was upstairs for dancing.
win. Well,
Oh,
sometimes
goodness
confidence is the key to success, right? Go Parramatta.
I don't think so. I think the Sharks will bounce back for sure. Fun question here. We love these ones. Favorite Arnold films. So, Mr. Get Back to the Chopper. Jesse, got a favorite Arnie movie?
Favorite Arnie movie?
You guys all think,
just
because I'll
for
say
it,
something controversial.
The Expendables. Has to be the Expendables, in my opinion. I just
What?
Wrong.
I knew that would get a reaction. It's got to be the one where he's pregnant.
Oh, that's funny, actually. That's not bad. That's
Julia.
not
That is
bad.
It's a crack up.
You know what? Controversial, while the other boys think about it, I don't rate him at all. I don't think I've ever gone back to watch one of his movies or anything. I don't enjoy Arnie's movies at all. So it's just a big fat cross for me. I don't want any films. Mika?
Bruce Willis is where it's at.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a couple like old school ones, but like Conan. I remember I dressed up as Conan at a school dress up day one year. My nan
We
made
need
it
that
for me.
photo.
There is a photo. You are never seeing it.
Susan.
Terminator 2 was good. I thought there was a movie he was in, Last Action Hero. That was pretty cool. I don't know. Terminator or Conan? Probably Terminator 2.
Great movie.
Kindergarten Cop. I'd forgotten about that one. Good call, Paul. It's not a tumor. Yes. Yes. I watched that movie so many times. Good call.
Terminator 2 gets a special shout out because it traumatized me as a young child. Still can't
The playground
walk
scene
in the dark without
on the fence.
thinking there's a Terminator behind me. Total Recall. That's a fun movie.
Ooh, all right.
You just said that because of the chick that had 3 tits. I know you.
No.
One for each hand and one for your gob.
Quick carry on. Will they end up losing Talangi? What my belief is that with Brad Arthur there as head coach, still, we probably would have. I believe we're in a much better spot now with Brad out of the club. We'll just see what the next steps are. Fingers crossed. I know all Para fans are hoping he stays. We certainly need it. Another quick Parramatta one. We're trying to get past these Parramatta stuff. I just need a break from talking about him, guys. I'm going to be there tomorrow, probably talking for hours about him. So,
fuck. Yeah,
will Barrett start making drastic changes with the top 17, and when will he do it? I don't know. I don't rate Barrett personally, so I don't know what he'll do with this current team. So, Mika, do you want to have a quick say on that? And I
don't think Lane and Sevo have much longer left.
I've given up talking about them because it's just doing my head in. I want to just no.
Like he's got nothing to lose, right? So, I mean, it's obvious to everyone else. I think eventually he's just going to go, yeah. Running Man. Oh my God, so many good movies keep popping up. Predator, Running Man. Fuck.
Jez, will Turbo ever play a full season?
His track record certainly points that he won't. We'd love for him to. It'd be great, but no, I don't think so. Unfortunately.
I'm trying to point to the comments. Sorry.
Oh,
who is
Get out of my
favorite
square.
80s action star? Good luck, Jesse. You can have this one, even though it's asked to me. You can have it.
I wasn't alive.
80s action star.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm a
Who's
91
there?
baby.
Yeah, it's before my time. I'm going to throw this one to Mika. Another handball.
Yeah, fuck off. How old do you think I am?
That's not an age
You were born in
thing.
the 80s.
You've got
Oh,
movies
yeah.
behind you, don't you? There you go.
I didn't start watching action movies till probably the 90s. 80s is a bit young for me, even old for me.
Steven
That's
Seagal.
it. Last one.
Yeah.
Last one.
Yeah.
And Chris, I'll give you the win tonight. So you fight away a fair few good questions at the end of here. So just message the page after this, and I'll get you that. Make sure you have those 5 entries in. Favorite
I'm
player
gonna
that's
answer
not
this
in
one
your
on a technicality.
origin.
I'm going to answer it on technicality. Ben Kennedy, because technically he played for Manly at the end of his career. Ben
I
Kennedy.
think he means this. I think he means this team, like this year.
Current.
Oh, no one. I thought it was of all time.
No. I would. Well, if you, all right, let's go to the all time. Go. Ben Kennedy done.
Ben Kennedy.
Ben Kennedy. Jesse, Mika looks deep in thought, so I won't throw to him yet. We know what he's like when he's thinking. He needs a little bit of time. Jesse,
What was the question?
Favorite player that's not in your team that's played, or we're going to say that's played Origin. So you can go now, former, wherever.
Because I don't have any Knights players in the current Origin, both sides. So
Favorite current
First time
player
in
that's
8
not in
years.
Origin? James Tedesco.
he's not
Yeah, but
playing.
he's in your team.
Nah.
Yeah, but he's not playing Origin.
Yeah, but the question is the favorite player that's not in your team. So you got to be
Not-
saying people that aren't in your team. So someone
That's
that you
someone that
like, it's not.
Someone
Doesn't
that I
play
like
for the Roosters.
not playing in the
Yeah.
Roosters. No, right.
I know you've signed most people over your years,
Brian
but
Toto.
do
I would
some.
love Brian Toto at the Roosters. God damn. I love that bloke. He's so good. I think he would be so good in that side as well. They need a bloody winger soon.
Yeah.
God, I wish I could make that happen. Let's get on the phones and Nick. Make it
Mika,
happen.
you look like you're about to explode. You're in like you're frozen.
No. Current player, I'll go Harry Grant.
Oh.
All time, probably Cooper Cronk. Yeah. Cronk or Johns, but current Grant.
I was going to say an old one has to be Joey. Just Joey in his prime is next level. And the other one is JT Thurston. I know he's the arch enemies, but he was so good to watch. Like even it was
Couldn't
so
tackle.
hard to hate him.
Couldn't tackle.
It doesn't. He can do whatever he wants. That's it, guys. As I said, make sure you message the page, Chris. I'll make sure your 5 entries get put in the draw. Still a little bit off that entry, the draw getting done, but it's at least in there. Boys, thank you. It's been a good one. It's been a big one. We are letting you know there'll be that Origin. The Origin show will be Monday night. Sorry, Mika, you got something?
Leith
Go on, Slim.
Joseph Holding. Is Matto gone? I believe he's been told he's not required next year.
Oh, yeah.
Where's
There
he
is a
going?
question who we want as head coach at Para. I'm a Madge guy now. I'm on the Madge bandwagon.
I still want Bennett.
Yeah, I want Bennett. Somehow renege backflip Bennett. I think you got one more backflip in you. But anyway, that's it.
Adam Martin.
Imagine that. He'd have Sivo in the team and just try and justify it still. Goodness me, he's lost the plot with that comment. I can't believe he said that.
That was fucking wild, wasn't it? What an idiot.
Honestly, guys, next Talking Para thing that gets put up, let's do something back at him. He goes on about these hashtags. Hashtag AM no idea on the next Talking Para podcast, because seriously, if you want to back Sivo where he's been this year, you got no idea. So Adam, you're getting some hashtags coming your way, brother. Thank you.
I want to see the Eels actual page hashtag back at him for all the shit he's been giving them for the last 2 months. Get a haircut, Adam, you flop. Hashtag.
That's it. We've got to go. Me, Jesse, you've got to do another one, and Jez needs to go and either do some more reporting or get to sleep. So thanks, guys. It's been a big one. We'll see you for our next live show. Will be either review or the Origin show, and we've got that Supercoach stuff coming out in the morning, either YouTube or podcast. Thank you. Good night.